Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and welcome to a collection update video. That's right, like I used to do them back in the day. I actually had to look it up, but the last time I did one of those was in November 2021. And then I did one that was part of my first live stream on my birthday last March, which I should try again, a live stream at some point in the next few months, being that I'm in my new place. So I have more privacy now to do these kind of things. So I'll work on that. I feel like I am due to do another one. But yeah, I felt the urge to do a classic collection update video. So that is what you're gonna get. All the movies I bought, they're coming from 4 different Blu-ray labels. You got Dark Force Entertainment, Mondo Macabro, MVD Rewind Collection, and Vinegar Syndrome. It's a good mix of exploitation, blaxploitation, horror, action, sci-fi, and saucy movies. So without further ado, let's start it up with the Mondo Macabro movies. For some reason, the least amount of movies I have from a Blu-ray label was Mondo Macabro. And I actually only had 2. I had For Your Height Only, with the legendary Wang Wang, and Challenge the Tiger with one of the fake Bruce Lee, which is also amazing. And I have Virgins from Hell. So that's the 2 DVDs I had. What I love to do when I'm trying to discover a new Blu-ray label is to check out all the trailers of all the movies they have in their store, and create a playlist, which I will put the link right here, and I'll put for you to enjoy. So there was quite a few movies I wanted to get my hands on, and they only have one sale a year, and it's on Halloween. And it was right around that time when I decided to actually get movies from Mondo Macabro that like a week or 2 later, the sale was on. So I partook in the sale, and I got myself, first of all, The Living Corpse right here. It is a 1967 Pakistani horror film. It's their take on a 50s British Dracula movie. This is a total blind buy, so I have no idea what to expect. And it's one of the last DVDs they had in the print they did for this movie. So, you know, I decided to get my hands on it. I got Lady Terminator, which came out in 1988, Indonesian horror sci-fi that I have no idea what movie they're trying to copy here. It is really, you can't really tell just by the title and the picture. It's, you know, it's hard to tell. I've never seen the movie, but I feel like I have already just from seeing clips here and there for years and years. So watching it as a whole should be fun. At least I'm hoping it is. Same with this next movie, which is Mystics in Bali, which came out in 1981. Also an Indonesian movie of supernatural horror. Again, I've seen so many clips from it that I feel like I've already seen it. It is one of the weirder world cinema movies. The holy grail of Asian cult cinema, as they call it here. So yeah, I cannot wait to check it out. Again, from Indonesia, The Warrior, which came out in 1981 also, and considered a classic in the Indonesian action genre. Barry Prima being one of Indonesia's biggest star back in the day, maybe still today, I don't know. Is he still alive? Possibly, maybe, I don't know. There were 4 sequels to this, and you know, I'm already excited to watch this one. I'll see if it's worth seeking out the rest of the Warrior oeuvre, but yeah, should be a good time. I got myself 2 Blu-rays. First one being Emmanuel in America, which came out in 1977. It is from Joe D'Amato. It is, of course, the Italian ripoff of the Emmanuel movies starring Sylvia Kristel in France. This one is starring the lovely Laura Gemser. I don't want to say much more about it because this will be my next movie review. I'm trying to spice things up a little here at Grindhouse Funhouse, and what better way to start than with an Emmanuel movie from Joe D'Amato. And by the way, Seven Films last month announced that possibly, maybe, they'll release the entire set of the Emmanuel movies starring Laura Gemser on Blu-ray So possibly, maybe, coming this summer or fall, we'll get to have all the movies from the Emmanuel series, which should be a sexy good time. The other Blu-ray I got was for the Designated Victim, which came out in 1971. It is an Italian thriller slash giallo. With that poster artwork, you'd think it'd be more like a Poliziotteschi, but you'd be mistaken. I think what gave me the idea that it was because it's starring the late, great Thomas Milian, who's been in a ton of Poliziotteschi's in the 70s. One of its biggest star, in fact. So yeah, this is a take on Hitchcock Strangers on a Train. Do I know this movie? I do not. So that should be a surprise. I know that the crux of the movie is that they hire each other to kill each other's spouses, but something goes wrong and, wackiness ensues. So there you go. So that is it for my first batch of movies bought directly from Mondo Macabro. I have way more titles I want to buy that I've put on my want list, so I'll definitely go back there again to buy some more. So next up is the MVD Rewind Collection. The Blu-ray label that has the best deals during Black Friday is MVD and their MVD Rewind Collection line. Basically, I wait until that day to get all the releases they've had during the year. I just compile the list and on that day, buy them up, all of them. Because just the shipping alone with how low the prices are, it's quite the savings. So the few I've bought this time around, the first one being Final Justice, which is an 80s action movie from 1985 to be exact, starring Joe Don Baker, and a bunch of Italians, being that this was an Italian-American production. The artwork sold me on it. In fact, I'll show you this right now. There you go. And the Joe Don Baker as well sold me on this. And the director, Graydon Clark, whose resume includes, he wrote Psychic Killer, and directed Black Shampoo, Without Warning, Joystick, and that weird cat that buffers another cat movie, The Uninvited. So I know this won't be on the same level. This is probably more of a straight-up action movie, but yeah, Final Justice. The next one I went for is the sci-fi movie Split Second. It stars Rutger Hauer and Kim Cattrall. It was released in 1992, and it's an American-UK co-production. I'll show you the original poster for this. There you go. So basically the movie is about a flooded future London, and there's Detective Arlie Stone, who hunts a serial killer who murdered his partner and has hunted him ever since. He soon discovers what he is hunting might be not human, therefore alien. Definitely has a style going for it. I remember it being very dreary and dark and wet for some reason. I actually saw this, there was a showing at a movie theater here in Montreal a few years back, and I enjoyed it, so you know what, I wanted it in my collection, so there it is. Probably one of the best direct-to-video action movies of the 90s, at least in the top 5 for sure, and it's Drive, that stars Mark Dacascos, Kadeem Hardison, and the late Brittany Murphy. What is there to say about this one? The stunt work is really amazing. The fight choreography is on point. Big things go boom in this one. I actually found this on DVD for $1 like a year and a half ago. But yeah, I said to myself, you know what, I'm still gonna get the Blu-ray version of it because I actually want to rewatch it. So yeah, Drive, if you haven't seen it, I actively urge you to seek it out. It is, if you're into 90s action movie, this is really high up on the list. My last MVD purchase, and it's a double feature. It's Blood Fight and Ironheart. Both look craptacular from what I've seen in the trailer right here. There you go. Bolo Young stars in both, best known, I'd say, for being Van Damme's last opponent in Bloodsport. Some genius Hollywood exec thought of giving him his own movie, titling it Blood Fight, although I read in a review that it's a glorified cameo. but in Ironheart, he's more prominent. Blood Fight came out in '89, Ironheart in 1992. So yeah, like I said, total blind buy, not expecting much. Perhaps I'll be surprised. Who the hell knows? So yeah, that is it for MVD Rewind Collection. Up next is Dark Force Entertainment. Say what you will about Dave DeFalco, the owner of Dark Force Entertainment, but he still releases pretty good movies of the grindhouse genre, horror and whatnot. Since Bill Olsen passed away last November, may he rest in peace, the owner of Code Red DVD, he was the provider of movies to Dave. They had a joint venture, I guess, together. He was helping him out. So I don't know how that's going to play out moving forward, but I guess we'll see what kind of movies he'll get to release. But for now, I got a few from the Black Friday sale. I always buy movies from Dark Force on Black Friday. And this is the list. This is the movies. First up, it is Death Promise right here, which came out in 1977. I went for the much cheaper Code Red DVD right here. The Vinegar Syndrome released a Blu-ray, I think it was a year or two ago, and it's still available if you want to get your hand on it. The movie is pretty much about an apartment dweller that goes on a search and destroy mission to kill the ruthless landlords who murdered his father. It's very 70s, New York City in all its griminess. You get the really terrible decorated apartments of that time. It's very low budget, and you can tell they stole shots here and there to, you know, keep it real. This is my second Charles Bonnet experience, first one being in Black Dragon's Revenge. His nickname is the Latin Panther. He looks like a young Anthony Kiedis back then. Well, I should say Anthony Kiedis in his younger days kind of looked like young Charles Bonnet. You should check that out. But yeah, and also it has a killer theme song. And I'm gonna include it in my next Grindhouse Funhouse Jukebox video, because that theme song fucking slays, and I can't wait to add it to the playlist. Up next is a movie I thought was a Polizioteschi's, but in fact is just a crime thriller, and it's Redneck. Came out in 1973. Because like I said, look at this cover. For sure, I thought it was a Polizioteschi. It's Telly Savalas in one of his more unhinged performances as a psycho killer. He outstages Franco Nero, who's also in this movie. It's a robbery gone wrong, being on the lam movie. I'm like 30 minutes into the movie so far. Like I've started watching it, and then I fell asleep because I'm a very old man. But so far so good. What I've seen so far, just from his performances, it's pretty nutty. So I can't wait to check out the rest. Probably the only XXX Blaxploitation / erotic musical movie I'm ever gonna see in my life, and it is Lila. It's in New York City, came out in 1974. I love any movie, again, that shows that time and place on film. It's a lot of sex, nothing really that sexy, to be honest. One good thing from the movie, though, is the score from funk legend Bernard Purdie. That right there, get yourself the vinyl, just really, really, really good. And there's a scene right in the middle of the movie where he performs the theme song with a topless woman, dances around him. I'm sure that was in no way awkward at all or distracting for Mr. Purdie, but you know, he was a trooper and just plowed on through. So yeah, Lila. Next up is Magdalena, Possessed by the Devil, aka The Devil's Female. It's another movie from 1974. I will show you the original artwork, I believe. It is right here. After the gruesome death of her father, a young, beautiful woman living in a boarding school gets possessed by a powerful demon. So basically, it's a German exorcist ripoff. Right here, it looks pretty crazy, even goofy at times, enough to warrant a blind buy, which this was. Then I got myself Forced Entry, aka The Last Victim, not to be confused with the 1973 porno movie starring Harry Reams. This is a 1976 movie starring Tanya Roberts and Nancy Allen. Here's the other artwork right here. There's the little info you want to get here. So yeah, I pretty much got it for Nancy Allen because I love her work from the 80s. And this movie is about a serial rapist that stalks and murders prostitutes. So, you know, it should be a really fun time. But again, I got it for Nancy Allen. Tanya Roberts, of course, I remember her as, was she like Kelso's mom in the 70s show? She was somebody's mom. I can't remember who, but yeah, forced entry right here. This one was a no-brainer. I got this only and specifically for Robert Forster, and it is The Banker. Any and all Robert Forster movies I will get, anything from the 70s, 80s, 90s, all his direct-to-video movies. This also stars Jeff Conaway and Leif Garrett, and even Richard Roundtree shows up in this. You'll never guess who he plays. He plays a detective. That's basically all he did in the 80s and 90s. He played, you know, either detective roles or chief of police, you know, a long way from his Shaft role back in the early 70s. This is another movie about prostitutes being murdered, but the main villain, the weapon of choice is a crossbow. That is right, a crossbow. It's something I've never seen in movies before, not as often. I can't remember another movie where the killer used a crossbow as his weapon. Maybe you could tell me if there's another one out there. I cannot think of one right now, but yeah, The Banker right here for Robert Forster. It was just okay. Robert Forster shined. The rest of the movie was just eh. And finally, I got myself a Code Red Blu-ray. It's for Blackout, which came out in 1978. It stars Robert Carradine, Belinda J. Montgomery, June Allison. Ray Milland is in this. So basically, there was a blackout in New York back in 1977. So this is their version of the movie. It's a bunch of prisoners that escapes and that ends up in a posh apartment building that they get locked in with the tenants, and they terrorize everyone in there. You know, again, wackiness ensues. This was shot in Montreal, which is a big reason why I got this. Another reason I got this, and it's going to show my age here, there was a show called Doogie Howser MD back in the early 90s, and Belinda Montgomery played Doogie's mom. And I always thought she was kind of hot for some reason. And she's pretty okay in this movie. You know, it's just a fine, you know, exploitation, you know, movie that I loved back in the day. So yeah, I got myself Blackout. So there you go. Up next will be the last movies I want to show you, and it is from Vinegar Syndrome. Last month, Vinegar Syndrome did a sale for their 10th year anniversary. So one of the promotion they had was 10 for $10 Blu-rays for the whole week. So basically, each day at noon, they would post new Blu-rays for sale at $10, and some would sell out pretty fast. A few I knew about, and other were blind buys. And since the shipping was so good with this, basically anytime you add another title, the shipping stays the same, but you get to add new movies to it. I bought myself a regular priced Blu-ray as well, which I'm very excited to check out. So yeah, I got this in the box right here. But I wanted to do like an unboxing thing, but I cheated. I already opened it. I know what's in there. So I will not do that. I will put this here. And then that means I'll just start straight up. And the first one being Don't Answer the Phone. Classic Grindhouse movie from 1980. One of the more exploitative, was even on the Videos Nasties list in the UK. And for me, and I have some shame in this will be my first Don't movie watching experience. And I will show you, by the way, this is the back here. I'll show you the original artwork right here. So there you go. Yeah, never seen it, but for $10, now I can. So yeah, I cannot wait to check it out. Being a bit more saucy now with my collection, I got myself The Naughty Victorians, An Erotic Tale of a Maiden's Revenge. This came out in 1975. I will show you the back right here. And then you get yourself this here. And if you want to read in the back, there you go. Apparently has a pretty shocking ending. That's what I've heard. It's and I know nothing else. This is as a blind buy as it gets. I really dug the artwork, and I said to myself, you know what? I should get this for $10, and I did. So there you go. Up next, I got myself a movie from their VSA line. It's The Grave, right here, which came out in 1996. It is directed by Jonas Pate, and it stars Craig Sheffer, Donald Logue, Mark Perlish, Anthony Michael Hall, Eric Roberts, and Giovanni Ribisi. This is a classic lineup of character actor from the 90s. The story is about two inmates that escape from prison after learning of a treasure that is supposedly buried with a dead millionaire. This is a 90s movie I did not know existed until this sale. I got this because of the brothers, Jonas and Josh Pate. I hope it's Pate, I'm sure it is, who were behind a favorite TV series of mine from the early 2000s. I don't know if you remember it. It's G versus E, also known as Good versus Evil. It starred Clayton Rohner and Richard Brooks, who I so wish had a physical release of any kind. I got some DVDs, badly ripped DVDs of episodes. It was 2 seasons. I think it was second season on Sci-fi. The first one was on, oh man, what's that channel? I'll put it up there. Yeah, so basically, I should do a review of the series because I want people to find out about it. Maybe do a watching party of some kind. The show was as a 1970s retro hip style to it. Definitely in this Blaxploitation vibe going on. It was a damn good show, and like I said, only lasted 2 seasons. And all this to say, that is why I bought The Grave. So besides the cast, that is, I'm sure, you know, could be as good or better than Good versus Evil. I highly doubt it, but you know, you never know. Another movie from the VSA line, and it is TC2000, which came out in 1993. It stars Billy Blanks, Bolo Young again is in this, Bobby Phillips. The only time I've witnessed a Billy Blanks performance is either in his Tybo infomercials in the 90s, or in a little movie you might know as The Last Boy Scout. He's the footballer that blows his head off on the field at the beginning of the movie. So I'm hoping that TC2000 will show me the true essence of Mr. Blanks and his acting abilities. I got myself some sci-fi from 1985. It is Creature. It stars Stan Ivar. Who the hell is that? I don't know. Lehman Ward. You might remember him as Ferris Bueller's dad in Breakfast Club. No, I'm just kidding. Ferris Bueller. And Klaus Kinski. And I'll watch any Alien ripoffs starring Ferris Bueller's dad and Crazy Kinski. And in fact, the guy that worked on the special effects in this movie, and there you go, the original cover. You can see the back here. Went on to do the special effects for Aliens, which came out 1986, of course, James Cameron. So at least, cool, special effects wise, I feel like there's a good movie to be seen in there. So, you know, I'll see. And last but not least, it was an assumed to be lost Blaxploitation movie from 1974, and it is Solomon King. There you go. Director, actor, producer, and writer Sal Watts is behind it. Let me show you this side here. There's this side. The original artwork right here. You can see the back. Check it out. This is a release from Deaf Crocodile. It's a newish Blu-ray label. that did a few releases before that one. There's this one and tons more going forward. They even did a Kickstarter campaign for it. I wish I had participated in, but now I got the movie regardless from Vinegar Syndrome. I am very excited to watch it and review it. As you may know, Blaxploitation is one of my favorite genre. One of my best videos on this channel is me showing my entire collection. In fact, here's the link right here somewhere. I'm just gonna put it. But yeah, and it's not every day that you get a new, you know, Blaxploitation movie to see. So you know, I want to give it a shot. So you know what? That is it for my collection update of cult movies I recently got from 4 Blu-ray boutique labels. Go visit all my socials at Grindhouse Funhouse. Let me know in the comment section below which movies you've seen, which movies should I put on top of my watch list. Just help a brother out. I have so many movies to watch. Just let me know 1 or 2 movies from the ones I just showed you I should put right on top of the list. So thanks for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.